All right, welcome back to another episode of the What's Next podcast. I went on a little hiatus. I took some time off and I'm not very proud of it. But good news, I'm back. And I'm here to stay. So I'm so freaking excited for this because I want to share value again. I want to document again. I want to show my more authentic self again. I want to share lessons that I learn along my path or my journey of self-improvement, business, fitness, etc. And I want to share those with you guys. And I had this epiphany before I get into it a couple of weeks back when I listened to a podcast of someone named Alex Hamosi. If you're not familiar with him, he makes 200, 300 million a year with his portfolio of companies and very successful. And he was just saying that he actually started his podcast because he wanted to start documenting his lessons, because it's so important to obviously have the lessons, but then also take action and reflect on them and what can you do better, because there's nothing worse than repeat or making the same mistake over and over and over again. And then I had the epiphany. I was like, holy shit, I need to get back to it. And I want to provide value again. And I'm super excited. So that said, what I want to do this week, and I'm probably going to do this once a week, is just share my lessons from that week. What did I learn and what will be my action steps moving forward? And as you can see right here, from the 11th of the 8th to the 18th of the 8th of August 2024, these are my lessons. And let's go through them one by one. And then at the end, I'll be sharing action steps. And also feel free to take some of these lessons into your own life and apply them as well. But yeah, that said, let's get into it. So the first lesson is that business or life problems are always a reflection of personal problems showing up in your business or in your life. And I realized this, I heard this saying, but I realized this when I sort of changed my schedule. So I was working 1 a.m., I woke up until 5 p.m. And then I went to sleep just to adjust to US schedules. But what we realized is that it's actually better if I would do it the other way. So wake up at around 12 p.m. and go to bed around 3 a.m. That way I get majority of the day of US times. And just real quick for context, the reason for that is for sales calls, as well as my clients most of my clients are based in the US. So that is the reason. And during that transition period, I just had bad sleep, and I realized how much or how profound sleep is, how much of an impact it has on your productivity, your energy levels, how you feel. And obviously that has a direct correlation to, again, how productive you are and how much you get done and how much you move the needle forward in both your personal and your business life. So I was like, holy shit, I need to do everything in my power to prioritize sleep. And I'll be sharing some action steps a little bit later on how exactly I am going to do that. The second lesson is abundance mindset, always. And I read this in a book, but basically it's called The Storyteller's Secret right here next to me. And it talks about to be bold, audacious, and exude confidence no matter how uncomfortable or how shitty your situation may be. And this is really a great lesson because right now in the business, right, it's going good, but it could be better. And it's just like having the mindset of, no, I don't need anyone. You need me. It would be a privilege for you to be in my life. It would be a privilege for you to be my client. And just having that abundance mindset always, no matter how shitty your situation is. And it's again like people treat you how you let them treat you. So if you are needy, they won't want you. And human psychology is actually crazy. The more unavailable you are, the more someone wants you. And just having that abundance mindset in whatever I do, personal, business, etc. And always placing full trust and confidence in yourself and that you will figure it out. Because at the end of the day, like, you are with you the entire time. And if you place full trust and confidence that you will figure it out, you will figure it out. Moving on, create urgency. And this is a big one because I realized this when my parents came over. I was in Germany and basically I was spending more time with them and I still had to get a lot of work done. And what I realized was actually, instead of I had less time, but I got just as much work done as if I had the whole freaking day. And the epiphany I had was, holy shit, we work so well under pressure, because I was like, shit, I'm going out to dinner with my parents in the evening. I need to get all this shit done. And guess what? I got it done. And there's a saying that goes, work expands to the time allocated. Meaning if you give a project 2 weeks, it will take you 2 weeks. But if you give a project a day, it'll take a day. And that's genuinely the truth. I mean, even think back to school when you had a project due, where they gave you 6 months for it. And basically you procrastinated, and it was a massive project. And then a week before due date, you somehow managed to get it done. Why? Because there was pressure. And us humans, we work so well under pressure. And how I want to apply this into my life moving forward is just creating goals, deadlines, and even rewards. For example, I went to a movie with my business partners the other day, and that allowed me to just get a lot more work done, but also to before that and after, because I felt like, okay, I had my reward, let's get back to work. But also it allowed me to take a step out of sort of this work cycle and just reflect and come back with new thoughts, new energy, etc. And that's why I feel like rewards are so important, but also deadlines, and get someone to hold you accountable to this, whether that's a business partner, I don't know, socially, a friend, whatever, a coach. And then also goals are massive. And I'm going to be competing in a bodybuilding competition in December, because I realized I want a goal again for my physique. Yes, I have goals for business, personal, etc. But I was like, I'm going to the gym for what? And I always feel like I need something, because if you have that goal, it creates a different level of urgency and even level of greatness to show up differently and just take it seriously. And that will allow you to achieve even greater things. So I'm super excited for that, by the way. And yeah, the fourth lesson is growth happens in discomfort. Seek it and embrace it. So first one is a story from my little brother. And he was in a little tough situation for a long time, and he finally decided to step out of his comfort zone, move to a new country, get a job, and I'm super proud of him. And he sent me a message yesterday that he was at the gym and he wanted to send me workout videos, and he felt in that moment of not recording, but he had this self-analysis, and props to him for having the self-awareness. He basically realized, shit, I feel uncomfortable, but that's good. That's amazing. Because if I push through this, I won't feel uncomfortable anymore. So let me do it. And growth happens in discomfort. It doesn't happen in comfort. So seek it and embrace it. And even with myself, so as I mentioned, business is going okay, but could be better. And I have some time to basically do more things. And we were thinking of potentially getting a sales job for me. And I'll be honest, it was a little bit uncomfortable. For example, going on an interview, or I have to role play with a hiring agent. And I honestly feel a little bit nervous, but I'm like, shit, that's amazing. Because I know I'll crush it. I know I'll crush it, but I still feel a little bit nervous, and that's amazing, because that means I'll grow. And just having that mindset shift, okay, let me seek discomfort. The next lesson is next play mentality. And this is coming from a sports environment. You know how it is in basketball or football or whatever. There's a lot of plays that happen, and if you get caught up in sort of, I messed up, etc., you can't focus on the next play. And this is a life analogy, because you're going to fuck up. It's inevitable. You're going to mess up. But it's like, cool, let me learn from it, but next play, right? Immediately taking the lesson, forgetting about the failure, and moving forward. And this is such a great lesson for life, for business, in everything, because at the end of the day, you can't change it. So why dull on it? Dull on it? What's the word? Why? Never mind, I'll find the word. But yeah, why think about it if you can't change it? Just take the lesson and move on. Next one is confidence comes from reps and preparation. And this was a big one for me. I was thinking the other day, why am I so good and comfortable in front of the camera? Well, it's all relative, right? But why do I feel so comfortable? Why do I feel so comfortable on sales calls? Why? Because I've done it for so freaking long now. I've put in so many reps, but not just that. I prepared. I actually studied. I analyzed myself. And that's why I don't feel nervous, because I'm just so freaking confident. And that comes from preparation. Next one is, final thing is doing a little bit more on the front end can lead to 10x results on the back end. So that's even with content, for example, like doing your preparation, maybe even a week more before, can lead to 10 times the views. It goes the same thing with, I had this with my exercise videos for my clients. I had to redo it, but it was so worth it because I put in more effort the second time, and it's just so much better, and it's so much more worth it if you actually put in the effort before and then reap the rewards after. But most people aren't willing to do that. The next one is allocate your time and energy wisely. And this basically came to me as well. Well, by the way, I moved to Slovakia from Germany. I've been to Dubai, now Germany, Slovakia. Yeah, I'm a digital nomad. I moved quite a bit, but looking to stay here for a little bit. But that's a side topic. So basically, allocate your time and energy wisely. So basically, first, work fasting. And for me, it's like, okay, what's the highest leverage activity? And I got this from Dan Henry. If you're in business, check him out. Insane stuff, insanely valuable stuff. But basically, he had a principle that he calls learn to earn. And that he basically had the epiphany of reading books, not just reading them randomly, but whatever the biggest constraint is right now in your business, in your life, solve according to that and read a book according to that, get a coach according to that, read an article according to that, because then it will feel like, okay, it's actually worth doing, and you can solve the problem and then you move on to the next one. And for example, when I started out, I read all these self-improvement books, for example, even on finance, but I wasn't in a position to even invest, so it was actually a waste of time. So just realizing, okay, what's the biggest constraint right now? And let me solve according to that. Everything else is a waste of time. And the second thing is just first thing in the morning, right? Prioritize it, because that's when you're the most fresh. That's when you have the most energy. So that's when you should do it. And what I even did was, gym is important, but these things move the business forward more, or my personal life. And pushing the gym a little bit later as sort of midday, or my midday, and instead having more deep work in the beginning was a big shift for me. And I feel really good about that. And another one is, I bought my business partner has this treadmill you can put below your desk. And I'm very big on steps. Steps are important for your general health, and it also allows you to burn more calories, which is pretty cool. And I used to go out on walks, etc. Now I always try to be productive while doing it, but it wasn't the same. Like, I couldn't be as productive. Although it was nice to get out in the air, but if you have to do it 3 times a day for 45 minutes or 30 minutes to get to your 10,000 steps, yeah, you won't be as productive. But now first thing in the morning I do is I have my desk treadmill, and I just get 1.5 hours in of steps, get some work done, and I have my 10,000 steps. It's so insane. And it costs $500 or something. And the point I'm trying to make is, buy back your time. Invest $500, buy back your time. And the richest people understand this. The most successful people understand this. And the next one is momentum is key. And you'll realize this, I'm sure you have in some areas of your life. The more you achieve, the more you think you can achieve in whatever it is. And the more work you do, the more you want to work, because it feels really good. And to make an analogy, for example, it's very hard to get onto the treadmill, to start jogging, to even show up to the gym. But once you're there, it's like, holy shit, it feels good. Let me do more, let me do more, let me do more. And it's even, that's the micro, like daily. But then it's like even the macro of making gym a habit. Now you just want to keep going because you love the way you feel. You love the way you look. You love the results, etc. So momentum is key. And when you have momentum, ride the wave. And it's just realizing, okay, the start will always be hard, whether it's like, okay, I don't feel like work. Let me just do 2 minutes. Let me just get started, and realizing that after a while, I will feel good about it, because momentum, or you start to gain momentum the more you do something. Then number 9, self-reflection. And I got this from, I've been doing this, but I recently had the epiphany again from the Stoics, and I got some inspiration from that. And they speak a lot about self-reflection. And this is super key, both on a daily and on a weekly level. And it's actually one of the reasons I want to do this, because basically documenting my lessons for the week, it allows me to actually reflect, what did I learn? And what can I do differently moving forward, as you see the action steps right there if you're watching this on YouTube. But it's just like, okay, it allows me to look at the data, look at everything, right? Because, for example, I don't know, you want to achieve something, but what did you actually do this week to achieve that? What did you do to move the needle forward? And it's like, okay, cool, you did X, Y, Z, but what didn't you do? What can you do better? And having these weekly, daily analysis is where whether you look at data or just, okay, your actions required to get there. Could you have done better? And that is so key to moving the needle forward and getting closer to your goal. And speaking of getting closer to your goal, the final lesson is action. Because reaching for your dream requires moving, behaving, and acting. Because that is the only thing that will close the gap from where you are right now and your dream. Action. Most people confuse wishing and wanting for action and pursuit. You cannot get closer to your dream from a place of scarcity, from a place of defense. You need to move on your dream. And that sometimes means saying no to safety. Because if you really want what you say you want, you need to place your trust in action. And I like thinking of an omnipotent being. And an omnipotent being is, think like God. And basically, when they think, the moment they think, something is reality. And if you can get as close to that as possible, that is when your life will change. Because for the longest time, I just wasn't taking action. I wasn't moving in the right direction. And a big reason for that, because I was just procrastinating. I was looking for the right time. In reality, there is no right time. And action actually gives you more clarity, right? Yes, make informed decisions for certain things, but the only thing that will actually give you clarity is action and moving. So those are my lessons, and the action steps for myself, because this will also hold me accountable, is follow through on your daily, weekly self-reflection. So I've been doing that, but just really follow through on that. That will help me a lot. Prioritize sleep. This is a big one. So stop eating before a certain time. I've been doing that, but just making sure I do. And the second one, I just ordered myself a mouth tape to help with nasal breathing. So nasal breathing or mouth breathing is associated with less quality sleep, stress, etc. And I'm actually quite known for this, if you want to say that, but I've always struggled with basically breathing out of my mouth, and getting these will be key. So it also helps actually with the jawline, avoiding a double chin, etc. So I'm getting myself those. Cost like $8 on Amazon, so definitely worth it. Then I'm looking into a bodybuilding competition, as I mentioned, to create that desire. I know there's one in South Africa in December. Maybe I'll look into other destinations, because I did one last year in South Africa, but going back home would be cool too. And then prepare even more. So again, whether that's with my clients, whether that's with my content, whether that's with my calls, everything, preparation is key, because with preparation comes confidence. And with confidence and preparation come results. So those are my lessons. I hope some of them you can apply into your own life. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. And it's good to be back. Let's go.